Ghouls and specters alike, good evening, you. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs as we recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
Lantern, I can't do the Yoda thing. So light the jack-o'-lantern, suit up, and grab the candy dish. Yoda pair. Tonight's episode will be revived and recounted, yes, on Haunted Holiday Hijinks. I'm sorry, I tried. And tonight's selection is Johnny Bravo Doo, or Johnny Dooby Doo. Woo! Yoinks! Oh, mama. Okay, how you doing, BlueDragonFive?
Okay.
All right, it is the second night of our Haunted Holiday Hijinks, our big Halloween special on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer channel. This time it's actually well thought out, and we're not doing it at the last minute, unlike last year. So this is tonight we're going to be doing 2 of our 13 selections. We're going to be taking a look at in 2 individual podcasts. We'll be taking a look at the first selection will be Johnny Dooby Doo. The
Bravo Dooby Doo.
Is it Bravo Dooby Doo?
It's Bravo. It's Bravo.
Okay, well I have to change the title then. Thanks. All right. You could have. I wish you would have spotted that in the when I have the title. Whatever. We're fine. Bravo Dooby Doo, which is the often remembered Johnny Bravo Scooby Doo crossover, and then we'll be taking a look at a wolf in chick's clothing, which is a very hilarious and absurd piece in which Johnny dates a werewolf. You know what both of these things have in common, BlueDragonFive, that I think is going to be kind of a common theme here, or at least on some of these specials? Neither of these episodes actually take place around Halloween.
True. And
so that's kind of like going to be part of the territory we're getting into in terms of like our roster this year. We kind of broke it up. We kind of like, there's definitely a lot of Halloween specials, and the Rugrats episode that we did last night was definitely a good example of that. But there's also episodes like these, and also episodes that are certainly on the darker side as well, where they might not necessarily have anything to do with Halloween, but they have a creepy atmosphere to them, or they just have kind of a spooky theme to them. I mean, let's face it, these 2 Johnny Bravo episodes are about as far away as you could get from scary by any stretch of the imagination. But still, it's got a kooky, fun Halloween-type atmosphere to it. So that's kind of going to be the theme of the evening. You know, Halloween specials that aren't necessarily set on Halloween, but still are just, like, amazing to be played around Halloween and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So with that in mind, Bravo Dooby Doo. I mean, God, what can you say about this episode? It's a big one for Johnny Bravo.
Absolutely, it's historic in many ways. Because you got to remember, Johnny Bravo, like some of the best cartoons, it was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and it was kind of 90s stamp of Hanna-Barbera. And of course, Johnny Bravo the cartoon in general was a big nostalgia connections for me. And without Johnny Bravo, we have no Seth MacFarlane getting the Family Guy, or Butch Hartman getting the Fairly Odd Parents without Johnny Bravo. 2 very big cornerstones there. Thanks Van Partible. Just did a fantastic job with this show. And towards the latter half, like the last 2 seasons, if I'm remembering, it should be 4 seasons. I think Partible was less involved in the second 2 seasons. I could be wrong. But it kind of, you could tell a shift in quality. They were trying some new things, and it didn't stay as well as the original. So season 1, I think season 2 are pretty much the most consistent in that stuff. But the other,
isn't that pretty much like by the numbers, like every Nickelodeon show ever just being really good in its first 2 to 3 seasons?
And of course, it's kind of interesting with just the 90s cartoons in general. It's like, again, the creators are really infused in those first couple seasons, and the rest just kind of becomes either a little monotonous or they're getting a lot of notes.
SpongeBob! Oh, God.
I was also thinking Ren and Stimpy, but
Well, yeah, but I think SpongeBob right now is kind of the classic example.
Right. But yeah, I mean, even with Johnny Bravo, even when it was getting to the latter halves, they weren't bad at all. It was just different, you know.
It certainly wasn't like late Dexter Laboratory, you know what I mean?
Oh, certainly. I mean, there was a change, but it was like just introduce some new characters, and this they didn't do as much like separated segments, like kind of like Freakazoid style. It was kind of like Freakazoid, you know. They weren't more concrete with the episodes.
Exactly.
They're more of a storyline. It's interesting. Again, they were on kind of both on Cartoon Network.
And I'll agree with you. I think Johnny Bravo as a character just works better in these like really short chunks, as we'll see in these episodes. These are two really classic examples of Johnny Bravo at his finest. Just absurd silliness and gags all around. But
and one of the things that just kind of makes this pairing of Johnny Bravo, in particular Johnny Bravo and Scooby Doo, let's just talk about the pairing right off the bat. It's great because Scooby Doo, of all the Hanna-Barbera properties, was the most that lent itself, and Hanna-Barbera in general, they lent themselves to kind of the crossover, the ever popular celebrity crossover.
yeah, Scooby Doo had a whole series that was about that, if I remember correctly.
Exactly, and it's based on the fact they would have these celebrities on many a time, and that was a big kind of.
Of course, the classic Batman episode that we'll have to talk about sometime.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Don Knotts.
That would actually, if we needed a Batman episode of a haunted holiday hijinks, that would actually not be a bad one to look into.
Maybe I got some. Let's just say I have some bad tricks up my sleeve.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Anyways.
But yeah. You see what I mean, though. It's interesting. Johnny Bravo was the show again, kind of starting with the Hanna-Barbera library of characters to kind of do the crossovers because they had a slew of celebrity guests. Again, the biggest ones that come to mind from the best pairing, the best episode of Johnny Bravo, Adam West, and the same episode, Donny Osmond.
You're right.
Again, two of the best guest stars they had. And again, one of the biggies was the one Scooby Doo. I think that might have been their first crossover.
Yeah, it was pretty early into the run, right?
Yeah, it's in season 1. I'm thinking like it was towards the earlier half, but it might have been like the second half of the first season. Point is, the crossover is kind of fun. There again, John Bravo in many ways homages the classic Hanna-Barbera shows, but twinges it a little bit to a kind of a creative idea in the 90s.
And keep in mind, this is like definitely a predecessor to what Adult Swim would go on to do, specifically with the show Harvey Birdman, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that show did it in a much more kind of like risque and Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of way.
And also shows like Grim Adventures and Billy Manny, they did occasionally with the Hanna-Barbera characters. They would have they had Fred Flintstone on. They had I want to say not Huckleberry Hound, but the one with the funky hat.
Oh, I don't know.
Brown dog, funky hat, like
I know.
Floating hat. Anyway, so they would do stuff like that. And this is kind of the first instance of that, and it shows you like Hanna-Barbera has changed style over many years, and that's what this episode it's in celebration. The basic origins of this episode is quite simple. It's like, well, we're doing our show, Johnny Bravo here, and we're having a good time. We're at Hanna-Barbera. Let's. What if we have a crossover? Okay, well, who are we going to cross them over with? Well, I mean, aside from just getting a celebrity guest star, let's cross over some Hanna-Barbera characters, and which one do we love? What's the classic stamp of Hanna-Barbera?
I mean, arguably the Flintstones, but yeah, Scooby Doo is definitely up there.
Like Johnny Bravo is kind of essentially it's kind of a 60s beach party premise of a guy looking for dates, a 50s character almost.
That's a good point. It mixes together very well.
Yeah, it mixes very well. They're in almost like a 10-year gap almost.
Oh God.
Let's just put them together. Let's have them cross over. I mean, again, it'd be kind of a vibe that you would cross over Fred Flintstone because that's a modern Stooge family versus it's kind of like a 50s diner era.
Right.
I'm saying Scooby Doo kind of makes sense. Like it's like a 10-year gap, but still it might work. Again, Johnny somehow in the past in that comparison.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But the great thing about this episode is it just straight up lovingly homages Scooby Doo and throws in some pretty risque jokes along the way. Definitely. It does. Seth MacFarlane.
And that's why they signed off and let him use this because it's not insulting to the characters. It's celebration. Like there's some inside jokes, but nothing is just saying, "Hey, Scooby Doo sucks," which it doesn't.
No, absolutely not.
Don't get me wrong. Scooby Doo at times can get hokey as over the years.
There's a lot to make fun of with Scooby Doo.
There's a copious amount to make fun of. Half of that stuff is great. The other half is when it just gets a little hokey over time.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so I can't wait. Let's dive into it.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. So
we see a little fun kind of Scooby Doo style opening. You know, fun thing about Scooby Doo is that they've had so many series over the years, and every series has a different opening. So I feel like this is kind of an homage to that in a way.
Yeah. Well, the opening was it's great. Again, the animation in this episode should be very much praised because they kind of well integrated. They used actually some actual run cycles and actual some stock animation from the old
not
Scooby Doo.
Surprised.
Basically, whenever essentially, I believe it's like whenever they're doing the hallway chase, that's reused animation when they're just walking casually into the building.
Right.
That is also the old animation. So even aside from that, how they worked in the Scooby Doo characters into the Johnny Bravo universe, it basically, actually, I should rephrase it. It's like Johnny Bravo and two other characters kind of just wander into a Scooby Doo episode, and it looks seamless.
Pardon my ignorance. Who are the other two?
Well, I mean, you know, Aunt Jebediah and and I guess the ghost is. You can tell he's not really. He looks like a modern.
All right,
day.
I'll give you Aunt Jebediah.
I'm saying I'm saying our ghost though. You can tell he's not like directly from the '60s. He's kind of like he's a '90s guy inserted in there, but it looks fine. It fits the Scooby Doo archetype.
Oh yeah, definitely fits.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a Scooby Doo archetype of a character, and it fits the Hanna-Barbera thing like that. You can tell it's not one of the class. You don't see the cell animation code on this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though it is on cell animation, that's kind of a redundant statement. Sorry.
Okay, so Johnny's broken down on the side of the road, kind of a classic horror movie setup.
Of course, you know, no luck. Oh, this is a fine kettle of fish.
Pulls out a kettle of fish.
Thankfully, there are some nice folks driving by.
Oh dear! Oh god!
It's the Mystery Machine, an iconic vehicle. Which, by the way, real funny, real quick, that they picked up Mae Whitman. Mae Whitman, famous voice actress, of course.
Mm-hmm.
She used the little girl also voice Susie. This is back when she was young, and she's still doing voice work today. It's amazing. Anyway, when she's a little girl, and they kind of picked her up from school one day, just kind of it was like she'd done work for them, and it was like a little thing to advertise the thing. They drove up in the Mystery Machine set. It was Butch Hartman, Van Parble, and I want to guess Seth MacFarlane. Actually, I think Seth MacFarlane might have actually been there. Seriously,
nobody knew who he was.
I think it might have been just Butch Hartman and Seth MacFarlane. They drove up in the Mystery Machine to pick her up from school, and they actually got pulled over by the cops who said, "Oh, we just want to see if Shaggy's in there." Please.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, a Mystery Machine driving up to a school is a little sketch when I think about it.
Well, that's the thing. It was like an event, though. That's the idea. It was like sanctioned. They just drove by, and all the kids, wow, and then the cops go, but then the kids are a little freaking out. But oh my god, I'm pulling over the Mystery Machine! No. Anyways, a cute little thing with the Mystery Machine pulling up. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So Johnny says he's on his way to visit Aunt Jebediah, and then they're just silent. They're just like completely fucking stone-faced.
Yeah, this is funny. Again, just they integrated the character so well within the universe here. Again, it looks almost completely seamless.
So then Johnny mentions that Aunt Jebediah lives in an old spooky house, and what's their reaction?
Jinkies.
Spooky house.
Jinkies. Just Johnny keeps questioning Jinkies as a hilarious runner. Just questioning what is that.
As a kid, that always just stuck out to me. The Mystery Gang is just absolutely obsessed with spooky houses.
Oh yeah, it's great. Okay,
so Johnny climbs in. Velma's all curling up to him. Says she doesn't bite.
Johnny again, he's just sandwiched in between the two girls. He's between Velma and Daphne. Daphne obviously is the one he's taking a liking to. Which, by the way, casting wise, I want to all the original. They were lucky. They got all the original Scooby Doo cast, with the exception of Don Messick. This is around the time of the Jetsons movie, in which Don Messick, the voice of the original voice of Scooby Doo. It wasn't always Frank Welker, kids. It was in Don Messick. Don Messick, of course, most notably George Jetson. And around the time of the Jetsons movie, and this is around that same time, again, this is the 90s, unfortunately, Don Messick was in poor health towards the end. He suffered from a stroke at this time. So this is like within the 3 months, last 3 months he wasn't doing too well. This is around that time. So they got someone else to do the voice of Scooby. I don't think it was Frank Welker exactly, even though he was there for Fred, but it wasn't at the transition point. They got someone else to voice Scooby. But still, it's impressive. They got all the cast. I just love hearing Casey Kasem in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Much. I still miss Casey Kasem. It was such, he's such a wonderful guy.
Okay, so speaking of Casey Kasem, Shaggy's in the back seat. Hey, Scoob, dig this guy's crazy hairdo. Oh God.
Yeah, does she bite? And this Daphne will look like, what? Oh, I hate this guy instantly. Okay, so then they're driving. They arrive at Widow's Peak. Get it?
Oh yeah. So as soon as they enter, Velma's like, "Ooh, spooky."
Yep, it looks deserted. And they're hearing a voice saying, "Get out, zoinks!" And and this running gags, they do the classic, Scooby Shaggy jump, but with Johnny and Daphne. So Johnny is jumping into Daphne's arms like Scooby. The Shaggy's arms. He's saying, "Oh, I get used to this." It's a running gag. It's pretty funny, and visually it looks hilarious. Again, just this crossover. You never imagined this in a million years, John.
Right. But it totally works because Daphne is obviously the hot girl that Johnny would hit on.
Well, of course, it makes perfect
just fits so well.
Yeah, I mean, but forget Iron Man being Captain America.
Hell, Shaggy is kind of like Carl in a way. It's kind of a similar archetype. Not exactly the same, but similar.
Oh, Shaggy's much cooler than Carl. Come on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No question. But I'm saying, like, he's kind of the dopey sidekick character.
Yes. Okay, so then we hear the ghost saying, "You're not welcome here." And then, this is important. This is actually some really great plot here of, like, you're not welcome here. So the ghost is just,
right. Oh, God.
First glance, it's like, hey, get out of here. I'm a ghost. Ooh, spooky.
Ooh.
But secondly, there's actually a story reason for why he's specifically saying not welcome to the group that just walked in. We're going to find that later. So, in this case, wonderfully delivers. He can snap into Shaggy just like that. Again, case, one of the best. Shame he's gone. Last I'll mention it. So he says, "Nice knowing you, Johnny."
Now, I think this is kind of important because I feel like the Mystery Gang is very apathetic towards Johnny throughout the whole
They are. I think that's the gag. Like, they take all the credit for all Johnny's stuff being there.
Right.
I mean, Johnny technically catches our ghost here, and they instantly claim credit for it. I just want to mention that now. They just don't pay him any mind through the whole thing. They just used him as a vehicle entirely as he used their vehicle.
I mean, literally, the only reason why they're even with Johnny is because of the whole spooky house thing.
Yes,
Other than that, they could care less about him.
They get their kicks from spooky houses. That's it. That's in a nutshell. When you really think about it, I think this episode might be tongue-in-cheek poking fun at this, is that really, when you boil it down, what are they really doing for an income here? I mean, they don't. I mean, the Ghostbusters charge when they bust the ghost. Mystery Inc. Essentially, a bunch of hippies in a van. Essentially, that's what they are. They're in a van. It opens up. It's like, instead of going to a concert, they go to spooky houses and they say, "Well, we'll do it for the heck of it."
It was like Ghost Adventures before Ghost Adventures. Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Seriously, they get no compensation whatsoever. Just get a thank you and occasionally a free meal. That's about it.
Yeah, exactly. They get a lot of free meals.
And it's still no legal ramifications from any of the damage they're causing. Just want to point that out there. Okay.
All right. Well, gang, looks like we're up to our ascots in a mystery.
Yep.
Oh, you had to throw in an ascot joke, of course.
I wish Fred said it, though. He didn't. I think it was Velma who said we're up to our ascots in a mystery. Only Fred's the one with the ascot.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so this is a classic bit. Everyone's yelling for Aunt Jebediah.
Yeah, they look all over for her, and then they happen upon a broom.
Aunt Jebediah!
Aunt Jebediah! So
by
fun
the way,
to
how
say.
fun is Jebediah to say? It's kind of like Hugbees.
It makes me happy. Hugbees.
Jebediah!
Aunt Jebediah! Okay, anyway, so they happen upon a broom closet. They're looking for food.
Hey, dig this crazy blue broom closet.
As Scooby and Jay are thinking with their stomachs, they happen upon a broom closet. They look inside and they find a clue. Well, not exactly quite. They don't find a clue quite yet. What they find, in fact, is the perpetrator. They find the ghost, the ghostly gardener.
Mm-hmm. Now, I actually kind of thought this was a stock Scooby Doo villain. That was how well they fit it in.
That's what I'm saying.
It's sure if it was original or not.
It's impressive. It's original, but it fits the archetype so well.
Oh, it totally does.
It's again. I'm so impressed by this crossover. I really am. It's like they captured the style perfectly.
All right, so Johnny runs into Velma, and here we get maybe the most iconic bit of the episode.
Yes, this is the big bit, because of course it's like very historic happening, like kind of a.
I used to quote this as a kid all the time.
This ingrained itself in my marriage. Sort of the Adam West episode. This is like the most memorable moment I have from Giant Bravo. Again, aside from the crossovers, all this scene.
All right. So Velma, of course, she's doing the "I can't see without my glasses,"
And
then
Johnny
what's Johnny
says,
doing?
I can't be seen without my glasses because he's lost his sunglasses. He's doing the Elwood Blues thing, essentially, folks. Is that he cannot be seen without sunglasses. He can be seen without the hat, but not without sunglasses. So they're looking around.
It kind of makes you think, like, yeah, we've never seen Johnny's eyes before, have we?
And you never will. And this is the closest you'll ever get to it.
Yep.
Basically, they have the moment. This is the huge moment, folks. This is the huge Giant Bravo moment. The moment like you'd never see. You know, he puts on Velma's glasses. She puts on his, and she thinks she's gone blind. Oh, it's so dark. I can't see. I've gone blind. And then you see something you never thought you'd ever see. See Johnny's pupils.
Oh my God! Fucking black dots. Holy shit!
Holy.
I never would have imagined on a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that'd be the design.
Johnny Bravo has pupils. Dun dun dun. Where's the Inception beat when I need it?
Oh God. Okay.
Johnny Bravo has pupils.
No. You're making me actually fucking like load up the Google.
All right.
Hold on.
Just tell me when to go.
All right. I'm sorry, folks.
I'm instantly regretting this bit now.
Go.
Johnny Bravo has pupils. Well, that wasn't as satisfying as I would have hoped, but let's press on. So after the historic glasses bit, again, Johnny Bravo has pupils. Egad. Seriously, it is kind of a bombastic moment. It's a bombastic moment of miniature proportions, really. When you really think about it. Okay. So then Johnny jumps in.
Say this once. Don't touch my glasses.
Very cool. Very cool. It's like a moment you'll never see again. Johnny Bravo. Him without the sunglasses on and seeing a vague hint of pupil. So. We asked that meeting. We had to keep meeting like this as Johnny jumps into Daphne's arms. Then they do some investigative tactics here. You know, they look and they find not exactly any CSIs of any variety, but you know they find a rake with flour on it, and as a clue to the obvious fact that it is not actually a ghost.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why would a ghost need flour? No, Scooby, it's because it's not a ghost. And then I love this. This is fantastic. And just kind of calling the question. If you're gonna have a Scooby Doo crossover, you're gonna poke fun at the history and the celebrate also. You gotta point out that Johnny being our third party member, so to speak. Just kind of getting in there and just being the audience member, saying, wait, kind of posing the Family Guy question, if you will,
exactly.
saying, wait a minute, you understand you understand the dog? Sure, we all do.
One has to wonder if. Wait, hold on. You've seen the what's it called? That Seth MacFarlane short that was basically the predecessor to Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
With the guy and the dog.
Oh yeah, it's like Life with Steve and like Steve and Larry.
Steve and Larry, that's it.
I want to say it's Steve and Larry. Don't quote me.
So the idea of like the absurd talking dog has been in Seth MacFarlane's kind of wheelhouse since long before Brian.
The show is always based on Peter and Brian, essentially.
Right. Well,
yeah,
that's how it used to be.
Well, yeah, it used to be. Now we just want both of them dead.
Oh dear.
I don't mean dead. I just mean slaughtered dead. I mean these characters are horrendous. I'm talking about
Peter that bad now?
I'm just saying he's just
because I knew Brian was bad, but
Brian actually should he should be given a chocolate buffet. That's
oh God,
he deserves the Augustus Gloop treatment. He really does. Peter he's completely morally reprehensible. He's just
like everyone else on the fucking show.
Yeah, it's basically just all.
Is there anyone that's likable left?
Well, again, I'm telling you, this
Carter Schmidt. Carter, is he okay? I like Carter.
I don't want to clip your wings, Tiki.
Just
Tiki, they're all terrible now. Stewie may have glimmers now and again, but then it just reminds you of like, okay, now it's just
okay.
Moving forward,
podcast.
But still, just to keep it in the Halloween spirit here again, horrendous murder for those two characters currently.
Right.
Okay, so is following this. We got it's basically they find wait, you understand the dog? Sure, we all do. Just like the moment of like, oh man, these guys are weird.
Right.
Okay, so then I love this again. More just kind of poking fun at the years of Scooby Doo here. Just like point out this. Fred says his classic thing, hey gang, let's split up. And then I love this.
Split up in the middle of a spooky house when we're being chased by a ghost. Really?
Yeah, sure. I love Johnny pointing out the logic to Fred. I love that so much. As Johnny, again, usually the lunkhead in these situations, means well, good heart, but he's a lunkhead. And he's then pointing out the most logical thing. Wait, why would we split up? There's a ghost around here. Why would we want to stay together? Wouldn't we? He says, well, that's what we always do.
And here comes the most risque gag of the episode.
Yes, go on.
Oh, God. So who's the one that's initially splitting everyone up? Velma, I think.
Oh, you mean this risque? I mean, well, remember, before we get the risque gag, it's Johnny wants to pair up with Daphne, and he offers her a Scooby snack. Though that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And we get the risque gag. So Daphne's splitting people up. So again,
yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Again, kind of poking fun at the whole, not poking fun, just neat kind of behind the scenes look of all the Scooby Doo in a way. Just so Fred's kind of the dominant guy in the group, and he's the one who delineates. Okay, we're gonna split up, and Daphne is kind of.
And he also has absolutely no personality whatsoever. Just saying.
All right. Anyway, so then Daphne is interesting, kind of the second in command of the group, and you get to see that showcase here where she's divvying people up. Anyway, so as that's going on, so Daphne's split people up. It's like her and I believe it's like her and Velma. Shaggy,
her and Velma, and then Fred and Shaggy.
Yep, and then Fred says Daphne. And then you see the eyes kind of dark. Essentially, now this is interesting. You see the eyes, and this is also poking fun at the animation from the old show. Like, the eyes would go a little wonky, but their intention, of course, being, well, Daphne, I want to split up with you. And it's basically eyes are really going back and forth and like leaning over to the side, like, hey, let's this way. So implications being. Looking at the old show, it's like Fred always split up with Daphne, and those split-ups were always the exact same, and there might be a reason for that,
Yeah, they got their kicks by...
They all have their own adventures that are probably the same adventure many times. And that's all we'll say, because any other thought might be a little too scary for the kiddies out there.
Yeah, I'm not even going to... I could make some jokes here, but I'm not even going to touch it. I'm not even going to touch it.
Okay, so anyways, the Fred and Daphne bit is pretty hilarious and pretty risque, and there's like a little punctuation to it later on, which is pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyways, so let's see. So then I gotta tell you, it's just gonna sound silly, but the optimist to me, I guess, is I love how genuine this line is. I just love hearing Casey Kasem says, "Well, Mr. Bravo, that leaves us with the kitchen." I don't know. I just love the sincerity behind the lines.
You're right.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know, because I really miss Casey Kasem these days. It's so refreshing to hear him again. It's been a while since I've seen this episode. It's like, that's a good thing to hear him again. Anyway, so don't know. Matthew Lillard's good, but he's no Casey Kasem. There's no
fuck no. Although I do think Matthew Lillard is an underrated actor if you see some of his more serious roles.
I mean, he is the best part of those Scooby Doo movies.
Oh God, by far.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, Fred Prinze Jr. He's good in other stuff, just not Scooby Doo.
Well, like I said, Fred as a character has absolutely no personality.
Yeah, he's doing a great job in the new Star Wars cartoon. He's Fred Prinze Jr.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's like one of the last remaining Jedi who's training one of the humans. Anyway, so okay, let's see. So they split up here. So that leaves us with the kitchen. Really good line. Then Jibber has one of those hilarious lines of the episode. He says, "Why am I stuck with Jughead?" Oh God. He thinks Shaggy is Jughead. How do you top that? That's perfect. He's just reconciling in a way he's in the Scooby Doo universe, but I still think he's in the Archie universe. So he thinks
it's not really that far off.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so brilliant. It's like Johnny Bravo. His equivalent is, this must be Archie. And
Archie even had that Archie's Weird Mystery show at one point, which was basically a ripoff of Scooby Doo.
That was a fun show, by the way.
It was. I'm glad you remember it.
I remember it fondly. That was one of my Saturday morning shows from way back in the day. Anyway, so I just love the fact he doesn't pick up on the fact he's in the Scooby Doo universe. He thinks he's in the Archie universe. That's the implication of that gag, and I think it's hilarious. Okay, so
Scoob, check out this crazy pantry. Everything's crazy to Shaggy.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so in they meet the gardener in the pantry.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a little they dive into the barrel, which is always a funny. I'm just seeing people curl up into a barrel with legs walking around. It's always kind of funny. Anyway, so then they're in apple barrel, and then this is I think one of the writers, if not Van Parble, then one of the writers they did this to each other, like he and his brother or someone would have this little thing. It's not based on anything real, just
I know. I was wondering about that. I was
it's not
be an inside joke.
I think it's just like something he and whoever came up with it, he and his brother came up with, they would do this back and forth. It says apple core, and then Gardner replies, Baltimore, who's your friend? Me.
Okay. Wow, that totally sounds like something that me and my sister would come up with. That's awesome. All right.
Okay, anyway, so then we have a classic Scooby Doo 60s chase montage.
Oh my god.
Which is lovely.
I have a Scooby Doo homage without it.
It's lovely. It really is. And that's where you get some classic run cycles. I'm going back and forth through the doors and everything.
I love the song. The song is just so jaunty and 60s-esque.
Yes, I think we got a name on it.
Happy Haunted Sunshine House.
Yes, it's
catchy. Which is fucking beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So again, this episode really does a great job in kind of capturing kind of the charm of Scooby Doo within 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, anyway, so during the montage, you may get bits also of John Barrow taking a moment to stop, fixes his hair, and song progresses, and Johnny gets flattened with a mallet, which is pretty funny.
A giant mallet. Oh, yeah.
And a bit of foreshadowing for the real investigation going on here. The gardener hits Johnny a lot more times than he does Shaggy, which means it's Johnny's motive.
Oh God.
So episode progresses here, and then during the montage we get the classic mirror gag, which we love the Muppets, so we love a good mirror gag. He's going in front of the mirror and then doubling back. Wait, where is he? He's gone. Then we got Johnny and Velma. Basically, crash into Velma, and now they're all just Jinkies. Jinkies, what is that? Is that breakfast cereal? That might be one of the best lines of the episode. Jinkies, what is that? Some kind of breakfast cereal?
There's a moment coming up that I do think is probably the most hilarious moment in this episode, in a series of hilarious moments.
Tiki, you know what could go great with your Jinkies brand cereal?
What?
A Reptar bar for dessert.
Oh God. Complete with and also a tuba phone.
Oh, of course. Remember, folks, those Reptar bars, they turn your tongue green.
Oh my God, fucking Reptar bars.
Jinkies, for when you need to get a clue about what's a good breakfast choice.
Is this going to be a thing now, or are we going to have a food product for every podcast?
Well, let's see. It might be a good run of that. I don't know. Then again, Halloween with candy. I mean,
Reptar bars was easy. I'm thinking about the next one.
I know we have one for next episode. I know we have one for the next one.
Do we? Okay.
It's one of the best stops along the way.
You'll okay.
Anyway, so again, the thing, we had the classic door bit, which I always love the door bit from Scooby. Just going over all these doors. Johnny has a double for one bit of wait. There's two of me now.
Even the fucking Beatles parodied that bit in Yellow Submarine.
Oh, yeah. Okay, anyway, so let's see. So then they're going down the stairs in a wheelbarrow. Now, this is a bit I want to point. This has always been my fan gripe with Scooby-Doo. Everyone has a fan gripe. They always do this. For me, it's it's always the... It's going to sound silly, because that's probably because I love Batman. That's why. So they always figure what the real motivations for the things are. So the ghost then pulls out a weed whacker. So there's literally a lethal weapon in this ghost's hand, okay? So to see the ghost usually, this is, again, it's an interesting thing to look in comparison to the series. Scooby-Doo, they never did this thing except for the movies. Movies is when the ghosts were real and they were trying to kill them.
Oh, yeah. And oh, my God, those first three movies, man.
Yeah.
I have fond memories for those.
I'm not knocking the movies. I'm just saying, that's a
which is Ghost, Zombie Island, Cyber Chase. That was my jam right there.
The Vampire Sisters, the first appearance, and not the second one. Okay, but you see what I mean? There's ordinary Scooby-Doo, you would think, really what you need to do is have these guys call the cops, freeze, it's a guy in a suit, just shoot him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying shoot him exactly. I'm just saying the point is these guys, they're the whole point is to scare people away. They're not doing any lethal means because then they could go to actual jail.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. This is the first time, really, with Scooby you've ever seen, aside from the movies, you've seen someone try literally off someone from the mystery. And in this case, kill Johnny, which is horrifying implications later on.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
I think it makes absolute sense. It's just kind of horrifying the lengths they're going to go to get rid of Johnny. They're trying to kill him with a weed whacker.
Oh god. Oh god.
Okay, anyway, so again, seriously, so the thing with Scooby Doo, if you look back, folks, really, it's the ghost. They never. The ghost is just to scare people. Just don't run away, and then you win. Seriously, that's how it ends. Just like punch the ghost, and you win. Never occurred to them. And again, always the don't run. No, praise for nonviolence, but still, just like say, hey, I'm not running away. Never happened.
All right.
Sorry, that's one point. Okay, and we have the stair sound effects, the boink, 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 the classic Scooby-Doo sound effects, which is nice. Then we have the other risque punctuation.
Oh, God.
What happens?
Daphne jumps into Fred's arms, and then Fred just...
gives a Christopher Reeve-style wink to camera.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Well, Lois, I think we should thank Superman for what he's done here. Wink. Well, George Reeves, I should say, not Christopher Reeve. Anyway. Well, they all winked. That's it.
That thing gets confusing with the two Reeves.
Well, I mean, no, they all winked. That's the thing. So I'm thinking, well, George Reeves is the one who talked to the camera. Anyway, so...
oh, Christopher! Will you fly me over the towers of Metropolis?
Anyway, so then...
I'm sorry, I had to get it in.
So Johnny threw out this thing after the weed whacker attempt on his life. He had somehow jumped into the chandelier and he was hanging from his pants. And anyway, so then he falls. And
because physics.
Yeah, certainly. The same physics of a guy whose hands continually turn to mittens every other frame. Okay, anyway, so then Johnny falls. Oh, don't worry, Daphne, I'll save you. And anyways, as she says, you shouldn't run. I knew I shouldn't wear high heels. Kind of nowadays a Jurassic World statement.
Oh, God.
Everyone's obsessed with the heel thing.
Fucking Jurassic World.
Why is everyone obsessed with the heel thing?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna rewatch Jurassic World, but the more I think about that movie, the more I was kind of. It's got good fan service, but it's not a great movie.
Anyway, so Johnny falls and they capture the ghost again. Purely Johnny's doing, just like he fell and the chandelier fell and the ghost. So okay, he's caught. Good work, gang. Well, you didn't do anything. He did it all. You had nothing set up. There was no plan. It was just run away.
No, there's usually a plan. And
I know,
usually.
And
Scooby fuck it up, and then that ends up catching the joke.
Not this case.
Anyways.
Not this case. Split up, find the ghost. Again, really no game plan. We're going to split. We're going to find the ghost. Then we're going to, put him in. Just use the proton pack? Nothing. Yeah, I'm surprised that crossover never happened. Now I'm thinking about it. Never Ghostbusters meets
Johnny Bravo and Ghostbusters.
No, Scooby Doo and Ghostbusters.
Oh, Scooby! Oh yeah! Oh my God!
I'm amazed that never happened as like a publicity stunt. I am amazed,
especially considering Ghostbusters had like one of the most successful like movie animated series that I can think of.
And from what I hear, they might be appearing on the big screen again in animated form.
Yeah, well.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know. I am so sick of hearing about that. I'm just like, it was going to be the all-female cast, and now it's going to be a reboot again. And
well, no. It's like there's the female one, but I'm saying on the side, the other one will be like an animated one.
Oh, an animated Ghost.
That's what I'm saying. That was like recently.
That'd be interesting.
It's been optioned, so it's in the works of being made, but it's down the line.
I'm going to throw out Lord and Miller as a director.
That's the thing. We'll have to see. They have their own rocky relationship with Sony at the moment, so we have.
Oh, are they really?
I'm just saying. I hear they didn't treat him too nicely on Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh yeah, right.
Anyway, so with that, so it's kind of, believe me, they would be perfect for it. And then again, they are kind of collaborating with them on Spider-Man, so we'll see.
Oh, that's true.
Anyway, so let's see. So then the ghostly gardener is captured within the chandelier, and then they unmask. And this is some great fan trivia for any diehard Scooby-Doo fans. And I've heard this from the guys in the commentary on this. So all of these, I wrote them all down who these guys are. All of these are actually from the first season of Scooby-Doo. So Professor
Barbera.
Okay, except that one. So Professor Hyde White was actually the first character they busted in the first.
Oh, nice.
And then Harry the Hypnotist was in the first season.
Bigfoot.
I'm not sure if he was directly in the first season. I'm saying those guys in particular were first episode, first season. This guy was early on because we all remember the Bigfoot episode because he's in the opening. Remember? He's like all the wacky paintings of all the villains.
Right. Don Knotts!
I thought that was hilarious. And it's kind of funny. They've actually had
Andy!
No, I don't know if you remember this, Tiki, but Don Knotts actually was on the show.
Oh, yeah, of course I remember that. That was my introduction to Don Knotts.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo got, it was great that he still got celebrity cameos in their later seasons, but they never as good as the celebrity cameos they got in the first season here.
Yeah.
Like, Farrah Fawcett, that was a great one.
Joe Barbera!
Who's that? And now let me tell you a quick story. It's on the commentary mentioned. So Joe Barbera...
Yeah, I need to hear this commentary. I didn't know Johnny Bravo had commentary.
Well, not a lot. Remember, there were some shorts that they talked through all shorts.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so basically, Joe Barbera, he sat in. He was there in the early days of Johnny Bravo. It was like the first season. He was there for a while, and he would sit in on things, hear about what they were doing, what they were crafting, what was going on. And he was there definitely for this one. He was one of the guys to sign off on using Scooby Doo. And he heard this gag, and he says, "Why?" He's like, it's in a joking manner. And he says, "Why have to have him say who's he? Like, who's that?" Anyways, the point is, there was a really sweet moment when he shakes Van Barbel's hand, and he says, "Oh, look, thank you for honoring the characters and everything." And just it sounds like the sweetest thing, It's like, thank you for showing the respect to the characters and not tampering with the memory or anything. Showing due respect and everything. You did a good job. I got to tell you, if you're shaking hands with Joe Barbera, that sounds amazing, doesn't it?
That's animation royalty right there for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, anyways, and then finally Joe Barbera is unmasked. Who is that? We know who that is now. Unmasked Joe Barbera, and then it's...
And Jabadissa!
Inception music.
Really? You're not...
This one calls for it. Okay, so the
And Jabadissa! Alright, that was a little more satisfying.
All right.
Oh dear.
It's a big reveal. So Aunt Jebediah was the ghost the whole time. So basically, why Aunt Jebediah? Why?
Well, quite frankly, Johnny, I just don't like you.
You're an embarrassment to the family.
Okay, now remember that moment I was talking about, the most hilarious moment in the episode? This is it. Fred is just so goddamn genuinely apologetic.
No, it's the whole gang too. It's not just Fred.
Right. But Fred's the one that's speaking for the gang, and he's just like, "Well, gosh, Aunt Jebediah, we didn't mean to cause you any harm."
Oh,
it's like they don't give a shit about Johnny. They're just like, "Well, gee." It's like I'm sorry, I just can't get over how fucking empathetic they are towards Aunt Jebediah and how they could care less about Johnny.
Again, she did pull out a weed whacker trying to off the guy.
Right, exactly.
Seriously, you were there. You would have probably been hit by that thing. It was on down. Wasn't. You can't just say it was for a scare tactic either, because you usually would say it. But I mean, they're going down bumpy stairs.
And I also love how Fred just lovingly calls her Aunt Jebediah.
Seriously, Frank Welker is a fantastic human being. He's just great at his job. Again, even though Fred doesn't have a lot of character depth, obviously, just hearing Frank Welker commit to the role, though, he just plays like the ultimate straight man.
I mean, to be fair, nobody has any character depth. Shaggy just kind of is lucky enough to have a personality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Scooby and Shaggy get the most mileage because obviously, they're the stars, and they would have the thing I remember most, my nostalgic thing. I don't know if you remember this or not. The one where Shaggy gets turned to a werewolf and they have a monster, the monster race of all the different monsters. Like Dracula's running the race, and Shaggy has a girlfriend, and even Scrappy's in it.
Oh yeah, it's
all the different monsters they're racing against. There's the Mummy and his mummy machine.
Dude, there's been a lot of them. There's 13 Ghosts to Scooby Doo. There's been a lot of Scooby Doo spin-offs.
Funny enough, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes actually appeared in the most recent one they've done.
Really?
Well, it was the cheesy specials they've done now. It's just cheesy special. Now they do them like it's going out of style.
Oh, those first three, man! Those first three were fucking epic. When I was a kid. Oh my god!
Tell me, what's the third one for you? I can't remember.
The third one's Cyber Chase.
Oh, I'm with you on that one, because that one, I'm so glad you brought that up, because for me, Cyber Chase is one of my nostalgic favorites still.
I think the best one out of those three is is The Witch's Ghost. Like, I think that one is genuinely fucking creepy.
It is. It is. I gotta tell
and
you,
then
though,
Zombie Island, I just
that's-
have a ton of I have a ton of nostalgia for Zombie Island.
Zombie Island, in my opinion, is the most cinematic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I gotta tell you, Cyber Chase, though, I had the weirdest experience. I knew before he spoke that was Tom Kane doing the voice of the professor. I don't know how, but I knew it was going to be him. That was the most surreal experience I've ever had as a kid. I know what this guy's going to sound like. He can only sound like Tom Kane.
All right.
Okay, anyway, so then as an ending here is basically they're all apologetic. Oh, we're sorry, Chippadissa. And they, anyway, so is there any way we can make it up to you? And basically they ditch Johnny and tie him to a tree. So it's a really dark ending when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pick him up from the side of the road and they ditch him. They don't just ditch him, they tie him to a tree. Okay, I just want to point that
They're
they tie him,
just leaving him there to die.
much worse than when they found him. It's not just they didn't just drop him off. They tied him to a tree.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Anyways, then as they're about to go off and like, let's party, it's just like you're calling Shaggy handsome. Banjo just has a thing for Shaggy, it would appear.
Well, who doesn't have a thing for Shaggy? I mean,
oh, we all.
Let's be honest.
We love Casey Kasem, we love Shaggy. So, they drive off. Celebrate. Then Johnny's just left by the side there. But thankfully, there's another beloved Hanna-Barbera character to save Johnny and get into all the misadventures with, and also voiced by Frank Welker.
This was cut off of the copy.
Wait, seriously?
Remind me.
This was the punchline. You really?
Yeah.
That's Speed Buggy. Speed Buggy.
Oh, yeah. Obviously. I remember. Yeah.
The Speed Buggy pulls up and says, "Hey." Yeah, I can't do Speed Buggy. But yeah,
hey, I can't do it.
Get a ride.
Hey, you need a ride. I could do that.
Hey, buddy, can I give you a ride? Something like that. Anyway, so just implying shenanigans to follow. Really funny, and that's the episode.
All right. So really quickly, because we need to get to the next one. Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
It's a very impressive crossover. It's short, sweet, to the point. It's a loving tribute to Scooby Doo, and again, it kind of says something in a way. And it's kind of a big point, the electrical point to make for this whole thing is that Johnny Bravo was kind of in a way the modern equivalent to Scooby Doo of what they were doing at that time. Bear in mind, Scooby Doo is still around at this time. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying it was kind of like for Hanna-Barbera, it was like with a new show, it's kind of being a show where you can have some crossovers, but also have your own distinct style for a show, and have this kind of, again, it was still done a bit of a similar, like a streamlined animation style, but they were a little more creative with the movements. Like it was a little more like it wasn't so much, they didn't have cycles of stuff going on there, but they would still have the restricted movement of the Hanna-Barbera style.
But they have a loving homage to the cycles and everything like that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying though. So again, it's in the way they're kind of trying to. It's like the DNA of a Scooby Doo, which is probably Hanna-Barbera's biggest hit. I mean, don't get me wrong, Flintstones is up there. I'm just saying it's always between those three, along Jetsons, of being their biggest.
Yeah, Jetsons.
I'm saying.
Stones rip off.
I'm saying when you bring up Hanna-Barbera,
I'm sorry, Jetsons fans. I've never liked the Jetsons.
I'm saying though, like, it's kind of the three kind of have the DNA of like the most kind of iconic of Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, sure.
And in a way, Johnny Bravo was that for us from the '90s. For don't get me wrong, we like Scooby Doo, and they all stuck around a lot longer than we thought.
And of course, Scooby Doo. I mean, they look at how many shows Hanna-Barbera ripped off the Scooby Doo with.
Exactly, and it's just kind of neat to see kind of like them trying to bring back the
old Jabberjaw.
And of all the Hanna-Barbera shows, and as great as Dexter and the gang were, just this one did kind of feel like the most kind of classic Hanna-Barbera out of the shows, in my opinion.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. It's nice to see those.
I would say arguably, everyone forgets about this show, but arguably Two Stupid Dogs as well.
It's in the same vein, but I think Johnny Bravo, because of those kind of aside from the guest, I don't want to just keep drawing back to the guest stars, but there's more than that for Johnny Bravo. But I see what you're saying. It's in the same vein.
Yeah, Two Stupid Dogs, I feel, was like, that was definitely their first attempt at like, hey, let's kind of try to do the Hanna-Barbera style, but update it.
Yeah.
I love Two Stupid Dogs. No one ever.
No, I also like to. I believe I like to stupid. No one else talks about it either. Right? So I don't want to talk about it. But seriously though, it's you see what I mean? It's in the DNA of classic Hanna-Barbera, and that's why these two deserve the crossover with each other. And that's why it's Hanna-Barbera is one of those iconic series for Hanna-Barbera and Cartoon Network in communion.
And I will leave it at that, sir. Well said. Well said.
So well, we should mention as like a holiday hijink here, as a stack up for that, like what we're going for here.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, again, we mentioned this is a more scary than Halloween related. So, I mean, how does it stack up in terms of that? So, it's spooky.
Oh, how does it stack up as a Halloween special? Okay, let's do it. I mean, let's be honest here. I don't think it's spooky at all. I think it's just completely silly. But obviously, Scooby Doo is a very, it just fits Halloween. It's kind of like, it's like arguably one of the series that kind of defines like pretty much every episode of Scooby Doo could be played around Halloween time and get that, and you could get that vibe off of it. You know what I mean?
But
so this kind of being, kind of like all of Scooby Doo, like all of the things that we loved about Scooby Doo, kind of like in a bottle and homage. Like I feel like that's the perfect representation of the series.
It's aged like a fine wine. It's like you smell the cork and like the memories just come flowing back.
No, you don't smell the cork. Don't make me quote that Sideways book again.
Sorry.
Just don't.
All right, fine. Take the cork off, then you smell the thing.
Yeah.
Not the cork, but you smell the bottle. You smell the whiff.
Yeah, you don't even smell the bottle. You smell it when it's in the glass.
All right, fine. You smell it when it's in the glass. All right. Enough of those.
Paul Giamatti would yell at you, sir.
Well, I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't know. My point is, aside from
are you chewing gum? Oh dear, I love Sideways. I'm sorry.
My point is, look at it from this angle too. Just as in terms of like kind of what we're doing here is that also it's you get your haunted house, you got your kind of your mystery set up there, you got kind of picking up the hitchhiker, the splitting up encounter with the monster. You got some classic kind of Halloween type special, like going like inside a Halloween movie.
Spooky house.
Yeah. I think it's the first of these. We kind of looked into the Halloween, like the classic trick or treating, and here it's kind of like what we celebrate around Halloween specials like these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
A little something to point out there as well.
Like I said, it's just I feel like this is kind of like if you were to show anyone like who's never, well, I don't know. If you were to show anyone who's never seen Scooby Doo this, like, what do you think? Would it be a good introduction point, or is there too many like in jokes and stuff?
I would hesitate because then they're gonna wonder like, why is the blonde guy not in the rest of these?
That's true. That's true.
Not the one in the ass guy. I mean the one in the black shirt with the glasses.
And also, they're very kind of uncharacteristically assholes to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a little too like a little too passive aggressive,
Yeah. But still, I feel like for Scooby Doo fans, and this is definitely who the episode is made for. I feel like it's
just made by them and for them.
Sure. I feel like it's definitely like kind of like one of the classic like appearances by Scooby Doo in anything, and there's been a lot of Scooby Doo over the years. So yeah, definitely has to count for something.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So the next Johnny Bravo episode we will be talking about is entitled. Oh God, help me out here. I'm sorry.
Chick that was a werewolf.
Yeah, I know the premise of the episode. Oh God. Okay, fine. Wolf in Chick's clothing.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm professional. I'm totally professional. I didn't just spend 7 hours in the library at all. My mind is totally clear.
I knew you'd get it. I was waiting for you to get it.
All right. So that is also not as iconic as an episode, but still very fun. And oh dear, I'm freezing like right at the last second of this podcast. So let's get this over with. Oh dear.
All right, hurry up. Say the thing while we can still hear you.
Oh God.
So our spirits.
Well, folks, our spirits grow weary tonight. But don't worry, they'll be stronger than ever next time when we engage in more haunted holiday hijinks.
Jinkies.
Maniacal laugh.